Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Stat Check episode 140. We are really getting up there in the numbers now.
So
That's
many.
almost 3 years of Stat Check. Given that it's we've missed a few weeks for WTCs here and there, and weekends where no one was available, we're probably getting pretty close to that 3 year mark, guys. So it's a little worrying, a little stressful. But we're working towards it. Hope everybody's doing well. There's a lot has changed since we last spoke to you all. The episode is titled "Slated for Destruction" because certainly somebody was when that slate happened. So we hope everybody's doing well. You are joining us today for a Kids Table episode. It is myself and Anthony. We do have a stats package en route from Jeremy, who is currently busy. Nathan is moving, as we said last week. I even said to him on the show, "There's no way you're going to be here this week." I was like, "Ah, it might be." I was like, "Nathan, you're moving to Chicago on Tuesday. What do you mean you're going to be here next week?"
Actual madness.
Just genuinely trolling. So yeah, we've all been a little bit busy. I've been playing just so much Warhammer. I think I've played like 8 games since last week, something stupid like that. Just like really, and that's with like taking all of Saturday off for my mom's birthday. So
Nice.
so yeah, it's been a hell of a week. If you missed it, we did Jeremy and I did do the slate breakdown, so you can find that on the YouTube channel at youtube.com/statcheck. Jeremy and I went through all of the major changes, our thoughts on it, and sort of our immediate hot takes. So if you'd like to see that, it is there. It even has timestamps because someone in the comments was nice enough to do that for us. Because frankly, we're never going to do that for you. We just don't love you guys that much.
Thank you, timestamp heroes.
Anthony, how you been doing, man? How's life treating you?
It's fine. It's the part of the year where joy is limited and working is high.
You
Just a,
could be Polish right now. It could be worse, right?
I mean, you know, that could be true. Yeah. I don't know. We're in the part of the year. We're in a WTC cycle where my armies are, uh, present. So I am in the find a job and do it well part of the year. And that involves a lot of like, oh, well, maybe on this table you get less fisted. Um, and I'm working on the second half of that. So we're doing our best. We're working our way through the getting destroyed parts to try to find the parts where you get less destroyed.
You don't
And
even get
it's
to be like, oh man, it's Chaos Armies that are good because all the Chaos Armies you don't play.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. That was pretty unfortunate. I play a few of them, and yeah, not the best. So yeah, this is not my favorite meta. I was talking to someone yesterday, and like the idea of me playing like Shadow Legion got floated, and I almost threw myself through a window. I was like, no, not the demons.
Anthony just
Um,
in there desperately trying to pass saves on Bellicor is what we're on the roll with.
oh Christ.
If I know
It
anything, it's that Anthony loves playing big expensive models that don't come back.
they cause me so much pain, dude. I
We're
fucking
very
hate.
alike in that manner, Anthony, where anything that I need to pass a 4 vulnerable save on, I'm just like, I hate this so much.
Yeah. Look, if Angron lives when I used to be able to play him, sad. That was, that was cool. I was upside, You
But
just
you
like
were always
kind of
sending him in with the expectation that it was a one-way trip.
yeah.
Bellicor and the Bloodthirster are like, I am these guys, they got to be around.
Dude, the Bloodthirster has an additional complication where he's also not allowed to bounce. Like he has a two-step problem.
Yeah,
Um
the number one anti-Brian army in the game. He's not allowed to touch it.
oh god, yeah, that army is fucking stressful. So yeah, I don't know. We're doing what we can. In efforts to feel joy, I've been playing a bit of Middle Earth strategy battle game. That game's a lot of fun. So
Hey,
something to.
what's the Team USA comp in strategy battle game? There you go. For anybody
Uh,
who's worried about WTC secrecy, what are you playing?
so I don't know what anybody else would be playing, but I play Rivendell. So because the elves are the coolest part of the Lord of the Rings movies, obviously. Have you seen
Yes,
them
of
move
course.
around? Come on. Um, so yeah. Um, I've been playing
Middle
Rivendell
Earth
in
and
chat.
Elves and Ring Wraiths. Those are the only two things I can respect. And
Yeah, I think the ring rates are pretty cool. They have like a weird mechanic in that game where they have like one wound. Actually, the stat's called wound. I don't even have to air quotes it. Um, but they have like a bunch of the thing that like prevents you from losing wounds. But like if you fuck it up and take that wound, you're just gone. So it's very like
It's one wound, 4-up, feel no pain, just like trolling.
No, that's exactly what it is. It's like that, and you get to take the 4-up feel no pain until you run out of like fate or whatever it's called. But they have one wound, so like the Witch King is like floating around, and if Legolas is just like you die, you're just like no. So yeah, it's a cool little game. It's not like similar to Sigmar in some ways, in that like it's definitely not the most well-designed competitive endeavor, but it's a lot of fun to fuck around in. So that's it's good for that.
And as we are in the fuck around and find out season, it's nice to be able to fuck around without finding out occasionally.
Yeah, just to have something where I'm not just finding out. That's pretty tight. So, just like another day of like, oh no, the corner of this 8-pound unit got seen. All of them are gone. No.
I had a particularly brutal game into World Eaters a couple days ago where it was like my bike squad in GSE like drove past it, killed one, grenaded, killed one, mining laser hit, killed it, and I'm like, oh,
they're gone.
I thought I was gonna need some stuff for that.
Nope.
Not at all.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of the it's kind of the meme, right? Is that like they just kind of, like they just disappear on you. You're like, oh, where'd my? You're like one of the people.
You don't even need Thanos to fucking dust them.
That's what I was gonna say. You're one of the people at the end of the Avengers where you're just like, oh, where'd all my friends go? Yeah, it's a bad day in the office being an 8-pound.
Imagining like one Noise Marine squad like reaching in to like your head, just pulling out the 8-pound. It's like one Noise Marine squad, 2 units gone.
yeah, it's real bad. Yeah, a lot of the time, like, oh god, yeah, it's a sad road down the World Eater thing. Why does R-1 damage not work in the shooting phase? Come on.
Look, man, Death Guards doesn't work in the. I don't have anything else.
Phase.
Does it work if you're playing Hammer?
That's true. That's true. You can't be -1 damage in Death Guard if you're playing Hammer. Even the Chaos Knight one works in melee and shooting. What the fuck? It's like literally just the World Eater one.
Mine in GSC and Outlander Claw only works in combat.
Isn't it 1 CP?
It's also both phases. I was just trying to catch you up.
It's both phases and it's what? What the fuck?
Hey, it's vehicle only. Towers doesn't work in melee and it's 2 CP. There you go. You can feel solid out.
Dude, I think I would prefer that, honestly. Jeez. Jeez, dude. It's a time, dude.
It's a hard knock life out there for us players. I, on the other hand, know what I'm taking to WTC because Gene Circle didn't change, and who else is going to take it in Team Scotland? So
yeah.
I'm working real hard to innovate in the space, but
have you guys been on the test the tall boys grind as well?
What, T-Sons?
No, the tall boys, CK and IK, brother.
I mean, IK we've not seen enough of yet, and CK it's like, yeah, we have the previews, they'll get tested, but I really don't want to be a CK team. I hate being a CK team. Every year we're a CK team, it makes me sad.
Yeah, like we had the discussion where we were like, if they're broken, like just completely broken, can we take them? Or do we have to just counter them? Because it was like, who's going to do it if they're fucked? Yeah, which one of us?
Like, I've seen a little bit of like, obviously like Mike Pestilence has been talking much about like the 6 bigs list. And it's like, okay, first of all, WTC terrain, like we ain't doing that here, right?
You could.
You're just not though, right? That attachment doesn't have walkthrough walls.
It's just
like
they're bigs, dude. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I know. It's so move blocky on itself. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that.
No one wants to do it. But
I don't want to do it at all.
I just like grabbing like my newest player by the scruff of the neck and be like, go on then.
Yep. Good luck. Godspeed.
Yeah.
Stand on top of the objectives and make them sticky with more OC than a Death Guard army can put on it.
It's all right. We'll just start bringing 60 gargoyle nids and then we'll show them.
That'll show them, dude. That'll teach them to something.
I'm pretty sure you could put 60 gargoyles in a subterranean assault list and not even notice that much in a lot of matchups.
Yeah, I mean, you would notice. The opponent certainly would notice. Gargoyles that show up 6 inches away
would notice the 0 column in their primary and the 12 in their challenger cards.
Yeah. That shit is the sad.
Yeah, I'm getting big feelings of like, yeah, my opponent's home objective, they could just have it. I'm not working to take 5 points off them to give them 3 on a challenger card now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's that's going to be common. Challengers are an interest. Do you want to do the challenger bit? Should we talk about
Go on, man.
challengers?
Let's talk
Because
challenger. Well, we're just vamping until Jeremy sends me this stats information.
sure.
So
So challengers are funny, huh? They don't actually help the person that's losing, do they?
no,
Uh,
not almost not at all. They sure do help the person going second and taking hold.
yeah, yeah. They help the person that is not currently winning. Now that unfortunately does not reflect,
Often the end game state.
yeah, what's happening in the game just at
If you
all.
got 3 challenger cards if you got challenger cards based on if you were 6 points behind on what the end score would be, they'd be great. Unfortunately,
We don't have that
end of
technology
game
yet.
timer does make that difficult to prescience.
Yeah, so I think that like in teams they're annoying, but not the end of the world usually.
On average, you're probably like going to go one or two games plus 3 points or plus a point or two, 1 or 2 games down a point or two.
The only time that's not true is when the strats just blow something open.
Sure, yeah,
Cause,
and
cause
that does
sometimes
occasionally. The yeah, the number I had a game where my opponent's blade guard drew plus d6 move and rolled a 6, and he was just like, "Well, I was going to advance and charge, but instead that thing's fall back and charging." I was like, "Well, that's so much worse for me that's now
yeah,
both
that's
happened."
bad. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, that's a bad juju game state.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watching Mortarian's hammer that you have to finish deployment zone, draw challenger cards at you is miserable. I don't like that experience very much.
Yeah, that's not cool. They're an
Um,
interesting little thing. And by interesting, I mean god awful mechanic that shouldn't be in the game at all. What the fuck are we doing? Just let people lose when they're losing. But they're
when does
one
the
of the
WTC vote
ways.
to ban them? That's what I want to know.
What'd you say?
Have you guys like? I'm not in the captain's chat anymore. Have you guys proposed a WTC ban?
That's above my pay grade. I am also not in that chat, brother.
Yeah, we should
They
appeal to our captains. Like I feel
I
like we could do something about that.
I think that we shouldn't ban them, mostly because every time there's anything that happens that involves WTC ruling, some
People
dude
get
that's never
real
left
mad on Reddit now.
Mississippi is real quick to be like, "Well, I hate when I have to play WTC rulings," and it's like you haven't played a game outside of your garage in a fucking decade. Shut the fuck up.
There was a Reddit post about the like proposed Death Guard Plague Marine thing, and I was like, guys, it's not even like remotely official.
Yeah,
Give it a chance.
just
To
let it breathe.
like, it's okay.
Yeah.
And like Kazarkin, get their orders in GSC. I get where they came from with that ruling. Like, it was bad, but it did make sense,
Yeah.
and I'm glad they repealed it. But like, I see where they were coming from, even if
The
I think it's crazy.
the problem with getting all up in the WTC's ass when they make a ruling that seems silly is that given the absence of actual clarity, the WTC event has to happen, and if someone asks, they have to give an answer.
Yeah, and they're not exactly working
So,
with like every resource in the world. They got to make judgment calls on some of this stuff.
yeah. So
Now,
sometimes we get silly shit.
I have a question
Hmm.
based on the balance list, and this is the thing that I actually recognized was the most annoying thing from all of the balance list changes and all the updates. I mean, why did they not FAQ the stupid Baharoth can move at the end, can leave at the end of the 5 and Seer Council thing?
Because
That didn't get changed.
no
Just
one should
didn't.
play Seer Council. That's
No
why.
one should, but people are, and it's very, very crazy to me.
Yeah. Well, you do what you can.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for the work that WC does, and I also understand that at some point they have to make a call and they have to codify that and put it in a rules pack, because if one person has made the call, you shouldn't have to dig through the fucking archive to find the ruling, right?
Yeah.
But what that does do is it really amplifies the bad ones. Now WC makes conservatively like 10 rulings a day, right? It's
Sure.
crazy how many people are asking stupid questions in that channel. They're not all going to be winners because people make mistakes. But I saw the balance date slate, and GW can't make them all winners. So let's not
Yeah. GW
not
can't
even
make.
like pretend that the WC's alone in making occasional bad decisions in this space.
Yeah. It's easy to do silly shit, I guess is the moral of that story. It's easy to be like, oh, we had good intentions. Cursed.
Can you rank 10th catch-up mechanics by your favorite to least favorite?
Yeah, easy. Gambits, post nerf secret missions, challenger cards, secret missions.
I think I would swap gambits and post nerf secret missions personally, but I think post nerf secret missions were totally fine they were an interesting tool that was like a lot more telegraphed than challenger cards and very manageable under most circumstances. Gambits were a joke that were completely competitively relevant unless you were Scary, and it's
Perfect.
fine, but it was fine that there was a way that you could get like plus 5 points if you were already winning and you called your shot. Right?
Yeah.
I think I'm okay with that. Specifically, the one thing I think challenger cards should probably be like 10 threshold or turn 3 on or both. And then they'd probably be like about that in my head.
I think if they were 10 threshold from turn 3 on and didn't have the stratagem component, they'd be good.
Sure. Or you had to choose to draw a stratagem or a victory point. Like you can just draw one and get both. You had to
Just
like
no stratagem.
yeah.
How about just no stratagem at all?
I think
Maybe just don't do that.
Crazy.
They're
You
also
crack.
immune to Vect. Did you know that? I found
Yes,
that
I
out
did.
the other day and was like, what?
Yeah, I did. It says it can't be modified on the card.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's kind of a lot.
Yeah. It's not even
you,
that it's like that crazy, right? Most of the time, not that big of a deal. But it's very
oh
like,
no,
why?
it's like very like one in like 15 card draws. You're just like, oh god, oh
Yeah, yeah,
this is
exactly.
really bad.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, this is awful.
Yeah.
Having watching like I've had like a reductive saboteur and then just like draw a grenade. And I'm like, I guess that's 0 CP 6 morals for the two of them
Oh
combined.
yeah, the not grenade.
The
I
not
can't
grenade
believe it's not
doesn't
grenade.
care if you
Yeah.
advanced. You're just like bang 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 bang.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you'd get the good one, which I've had like 3 times now, which is Emperor's Children pull fallback shooting charge, an advanced shooting charge.
Dude,
like
cool.
cool.
A handful of times in games where I'm down, I've pulled the like I forget what it is. It's like be in a bunch of places while I'm like getting tabled, and I'm like, come on.
I think at least that one is the one that comes with grenade stapled to it.
I don't
Plus,
remember.
I think that was the plus D6 move one or something like that.
Yeah.
I've also had like, you're just like, oh, I drew be outside 15 of all of my own units while you're like in your search and destroy deployment zone, just like with like a Space Wolf army surrounding you, and I'm just like, well, this seems difficult. Oh, what an interesting mechanic. Jeremy says no stats until Anthony stops white knighting. Like Jeremy, we have to have nuanced takes on the show. Give us the stats. We have to at least pretend to be impartial. All right, balanced data slate. I know we spoke about this on the show, but let's hit the highlights. What on God's green earth did they do to Necrons?
I don't know. They just like buffed them a little bit. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
I
saw people freaking the fuck out about this. I think it's fine. Whatever.
I don't like it. I don't like buffing armies that are good.
Sure. I don't like nerfing armies that are shit, and yet Drakari exists.
Drakari didn't get nerfed. Drakari got only buffs this data slate, right?
This data slate, that's true.
Look, I've seen enough people playing Reaper's Wager recently to be like, okay, let me just keep a side eye on that shit.
No.
It's always just sketchy. How do you feel about the EC changes?
I think they're reasonable. I think EC is still one of the best armies in the game. I think it's fine that they got a little bit worse. I would be curious to know what Nos thinks about EC. Because if 60 points is enough to make Guard unplayable, garbage tier, untouchable, unusable.
I think Guard went up like 110.
It depends on the list, right?
Sure. Nos's list went up like 110. We were chatting about it.
Sure. But if that's enough to make Guard just fucking entirely unusable, is the same true of EC?
I don't think so. I think EC are fine.
Okay.
I think Nos was already only playing 2 princes in his previous list, so he didn't feel the change as much. And like we were already chatting about it, and it was like, yeah, I think it hurts. I think I'm going to tweak like a few things here and there.
Yeah.
But the sort of general pattern seems fine. It also feels like one of those armies that like has the juice to get to Thousand Suns, which feels pretty relevant in this meta game.
I think that what happened is the same thing that I've seen happen to everyone. I've seen it happen to John. I've seen it happen to Nos. It happened to me for a bit, where you play EC, and then you're like, oh, this is really fun. I don't want to fucking do anything else. So then someone asks you to go back to your old army, and you're like, nah, that army sucks. It's not even good. It's so bad. I can't do it. It's not good. It's really bad. And then someone else is like, oh, okay, so you can play EC. And they're like, great. excellent. This army's the best. And then they're like, all right, but should we take, you know, that army? Or like, how do you think this army does into your old army? And they're like, dude, that army's fucking sick, dude. It's so good. And you're like, what? How you just said it was so bad when you were able to play EC now is good? What the fuck?
I'm gonna be honest. Having been on the play again, my recent tournament armies have been for this year. I have played Blood Angels Lag with Oath +1 to wound. I have played full power Ultramarines Gladius. I have played Yanari, and I have played Gene Cult Host of Ascension. My the pleasure centers of my brain are like shock absorbed to the max with I have all the agency every game I play. I try to play a game on Invasion Fleet Nids, and I'm just like, where are the do things buttons? I'm just stat lining people. This is awful. I hate it.
Yeah.
It's like I've fucking absolutely blown out my ability to play real armies.
Right.
I could play T-Sons 100%. Like I could jump to there. I wouldn't even fucking blink. But I could play Emperor's Children. But there's certain there's some of these armies that just hit the serotonin button just right. And yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how you convinced me to play a game of Votan now.
Oh my god, imagine.
You're like, yeah, dude, you're gonna go play Votan. You're gonna play Hammer of the Emperor Guard or
World Eaters.
Actually, I don't know, man. What the only Hellbrute 6-inch poly consolidating through an army. The one game I played of World Eaters where I just ping ponged through 1,000 points on turn 1. I was like, yeah, this is the best army in the game, and then I never touched it again because I knew I would never replicate that against somebody who'd read the Hellbrute.
Correct. Yeah, you'll never get it a second time.
No, 100%. So yeah, there's a lot of armies out there that just don't do
speaking
it
of
me.
Models that die to the night meta, dude. Rest and pour one out for my little homie, the T9 Terror, the Hellbrute.
It's a tough world out there, isn't it?
If people are gonna be out there taking big nights and shit, you can't be fucking around with Hellbrutes.
I got a game into the same game I put into World Eaters. I got the Plunging Fire Mining Laser, 85 ignore cover. It's just like remove that.
That's sad. That's heartbreaking, honestly. That's fucking brutal. Every time one of my Hellbrutes die to something stupid, I get so mad. I'm like, come on. I had a game what was it, a week ago where a unit of CSM bikes just drive by his ass, and I was like, come on, fucking please.
It's the worst when it's 7 damage from the Meltas, 3 saves from the bolters that are lethal.
He's dead.
No.
Yeah, you know he's dead.
No.
Yeah. Oh, God, fucking Hellbrutes, dude. They'll break your heart.
And then, yeah, I'm so glad they got rid of Death Company Dreadnoughts. I'm just imagining World Eaters I'm just imagining trying to play nickel and dime armies into triple. The list that Borgia played at War Masters last year when he he lost 11-9 to Liam playing the full MSU Eldar because he just had 3 double firing back Dreadnoughts with the flamers.
Yeah,
he was just I couldn't interact with them.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Good times. I miss it. All right, Jeremy has sent me stats. We will continue into the prevarication after we get to the stats, but.
Get them.
Let's do so. As always, these are the stats for the last week of data for 25+ round tournament, 25+ player tournaments with 5 or more rounds. Gotta get the words right. We will be excluding armies with less than 10 players in the stats. That means you Imperial Agents with your 23% win rate and 3 players. Yeah. So let's do this the fun way, Anthony. Don't look at the thing. What's the 5th worst army in the game right now?
Is it something you play?
It is something that I have played at a WTC.
Tyranids?
No, it is Dark Angels with a 45% win rate across 28 players.
Oh, fine.
They managed no event wins, no top 4s, and 1 top 10. They had a 2.8% representation, and they kind of suck. So yeah, I can't find the overrep stat. Where is overrep in here?
There are good data sheets in Dark Angels. Yep. There are better options in Marines.
Okay. The next army I've also played at a WTC in 4th place.
Was it a WTC or an ETC?
ETC for this one.
Cults.
Yes, Genestealer Cults. 12 players, 1.2% of the metagame, a 44% win rate, 0 top 4s, 0 event wins, 0 top 10s, and a 0 for overrep.
Tough
I have
weekend.
not played the next one, which is Blood Angels, 45 players, 44% win rate, 0 event wins, 1 top 4, and 2 top 10s for a 0.47 over rep. Blood Angels obviously desperately needed the buffs, as we all
Uh-huh.
know. Blood
Just
Angels were really just in the hole, were just working for the money,
dying in the streets, dude. Just doing their
Absolutely
best.
awful. I think that was Chris Radford getting the 1 top 10
The
as
one top
well.
four, yeah.
Top 10, I think he finished like 5th or 6th.
Oh, heartbreaking.
Um, yeah, maybe I'm going mad, but I think it was the top 3 was Josh, Nathan, and yeah, the Roberts brothers putting up the 1 and 3, I think. I can't remember who the other one was. In second to last, we have another army I've played at WTC, Chaos Space Marines, or ETC. 40
Yes.
players, 4% of the metagame, 39.2% win rate, and 2 top 10s for a 0 over rep. Chris Radford was 4th, so Chris does get it. Chris did screw in. In last place, excluding Imperial Agents, we had Grey Knights with a fantastic little. Oh, I've just tabbed out of that. Oh, don't do that. With 16 players, 1.6% of the metagame, a 39% win rate, and 1 top 10 for a 0 on overrep. That is a brutal bottom 5, by the way.
Yeah, that's tough, dude.
Especially when you look at, because I can look at that, I can go, okay, Dark Angels got some pretty interesting buffs, right? Does it make them incredible? No, but at least they got something. Blood Angels got some buffs. Gene Stealer Cults changed. I'm hesitant to call it buffs, but they definitely changed. Grey Knights got literally nothing because they do, in theory, have a book coming out. We've seen the new Grandmaster or the new Dread
Also,
Knight.
because fuck them. That's why. You know.
That's fair too.
Yeah.
I think Chaos Space Marines got like actually some pretty interesting changes. So it's like, well, half those armies didn't get anything, and they're all at the bottom. This is what happens. We disappear for a month. All the fucking nerf balance shit goes to shit. All right, top 5. All of these armies had 5 or more players, so we can start with good old fashioned. Who's your top 5, Anthony? If you had to pick your top 5 right now,
Death Guard, Thousand Sons, Emperor's Children, Eye
your
Knights,
2 of 3.
Demons.
What was the last one? Sorry,
Eye Knights, Demons.
3 out of 5. So
Okay.
in 5th place, Thousand Sons, 40 players for 4% of the metagame, a 53.6 win rate, 2 event wins, 3 top 4s, 5 top 10s for a 1.58 over rep. Doing pretty good.
Shit is bad when Thousand Sons are strong in the hands of their average.
That
By
is
the
very
way.
true. That is very, very true. In second place with 12 players, we have Black Templars, making up 1.2% of the metagame. They had a 54.1% win rate and 1 top 10 for a 0 on over rep.
Okay.
Black Templars scraping it over the line with 12 players. Did get some interesting buffs. In 6th, if we're excluding Black Templars, was Adeptus Custodes at 53.5% win rate and a 0.81 over rep. Adeptus Mechanicus make up the 3rd place with 11 players. They had 1.1% of the metagame. They had a 54.1% win rate, 0 event wins, 1 top 4, 3 top 10s for a 1.92 on over representation. So not a lot of guys, but doing pretty well actually. And I think Admech continued to be one of those armies that is probably better than their win rate suggests in general. I think that army is rarely awful. But hey, in second place, we do have the Death Guard, 86 players for 8.5% of the metagame. They had a 54.6% win rate. They had 3 event wins, 6 top 4s, and 15 top 10s for a 1.47 over rep. Despite being the single most represented army in the game, they still managed a 1.5 on over rep, just showing that Death Guard are totally fine. And massive congratulations to Static host Nathan Roberts, who did manage to go 7-0 at the Bristol Super Major with them. So very well done to Nathan. I believe that is his first 7-0 at UKT Super Major. So a massive props, man. Well done. I know you've been on it for a while, and it's great to see you finally get it.
Woohoo.
And then in first place, we do have Imperial Knights with 62 players for 6.1% of the metagame. They had a 55.5% win rate. They had 2 event wins, 5 top 4s, 10 top 10s, and a 1.7 for overrep. So they did have a lower overrep than a bunch of armies. There are a few armies that are tracking like that 1.9. World Eaters and Admech both at 1.9. And then Tyranids at 1.76. Imperial Knights coming in 4th for overrepresentation. It's still very high for that army.
Yep.
So, as far as the rest of the armies go, we have Adeptus Custodes in 6th with a 53.5% win rate, Emperor's Children in 7th with 53.4, Tyranids in 8th with 52.7, Necrons at 52.1, Drukari at 51.5, World Eaters at 50.9, Chaos Demons at 50.5, Eldari at 50.3, Deathwatch at 50, and then we fall below the halfway mark. Deathwatch at 50. No, I just said Deathwatch. Ashlam's Arm at 49.6. Definitely needed the nerfs. Orcs at 49.4, Chaos Knights at 48.7, Space Wolves at 48.5, Tau at 48.4, regular old Space Marines at 46.4, while having one event win, 4 top 4s, and 6 top 10s for 1.5 clear and overrepresentation. Leagues of Votan at 46.4, Adept Sororitas at 45.6, and then we fall into Dark Angels as we discussed before. Your event winners this week: 2 for Imperial Knights, 3 for Death Guard, 2 for Thousand Sons, 1 for Emperor's Children and Tyranids, and World Eaters, and Space Marines, and Votan. So, not a ton of events this week. 1,000 players, not the biggest we've ever seen, but definitely showing some very, very interesting numbers out there.
That's pretty good. 1,000 people? That's pretty cool.
1,000 people? Yeah, small weekend for us.
Yeah.
Now, Jeremy has also shot me some Death Guard data, some detachment data, because this is one of the things that we have now that we're back up and running with BCV. We can share this with you guys again. So for Eldar, Aspect Host had a 45.5% win rate. War Host had a 70% win rate. No, Battle Host? What is Battle Host? Is that that's the Grotmus one, right?
Is it?
I thought that was called Armored War Host.
So did I.
I'm guessing that's what this means. Battle Host, 70% win rate. Devoted to Vignette, 56.6 with the most players at 25. Ghost of the Webway, 53.3. Seer Council, 31. Spirit Conclave, 54.2. War Host, 52.3. And Windrider Host with 33% win rate. Guardian Battle Host. There we go. 70% win rate. There's someone actually did go 4 wins and a draw, which was in the last round at Bristol with Guardian Battle Host. So shout out to that guy. Absolutely performing. Death Guard. Most played detachment is Virulent Victoria with 42 players. Then Mortarian's Hammer with 23. Win rates. Champions 46. Deathlord's Chosen 50. Flyblown Host 36. That one breaks my heart. I really think that detachment's good. It's just clearly not proving it. Mortarian's Hammer 58.1. Shamble Victorum 43.8, Taliban at 80, and Virulent Victorum at 56.9. Definitely some big numbers there. Thousand Sons, Change Host 23% win rate with 2 players. Cult of Magic for the one event that still played Old Rules, 100% win rate, 6-0. Grand Coven, 22 players for a 58.1% win rate. Hexwarp Thoroughbrand, 3-3 for a 50 with 1 player. Rubrikai Phalanx, 42. Warforged Cabal, 1 player for 40%. And Warp Bell Pact, 4 players for a 65% win rate across 20 games. So 13-7, not actually that impressive when you put it into that number, but still doing fairly well. World Eaters, who's your best for the best?
Demonkin is probably better than Berserker Warband in singles, I would say.
It is, but it's not the best.
Does it have more than 1 player, the one that's the best?
No.
Okay.
So, Berserker Warband, 39 players for 51.2% win rate. Gortrak Onslaught, 3 players for 43.8% win rate. Anthony was right on the money with that one. Khorne Demonkin, 11 players, 53.3% win rate. Possessed Slaughterband, 4-2 for 1 guy, 66.7% win rate. Woohoo! And Vessels of Wrath, 1 player, 1-5 for a 16.7% win rate.
That looks like my Vessels testing, dude.
And then last, we have Emperor's Children. Carnival of Excess, 2 players, 50% win rate. Coterie of the Conceited, 39 players, 54.7% win rate. Mercurial Host, 3 players for a 38.5% win rate. And Peerless Bladesman, 6 players for a 51.7% win rate. So Coterie of the Conceited tracking to the top end of that 55. So some interesting detachment stats coming out there. I think the big takeaways for us, you can kind of pull out there. Grand Coven at 58.1, Mortarian's Hammer at 58.1, Virulent Victoria at 56.9, and Devoted Vignette at 56.6. This is probably pre-nerf for most of this data, so we'll see how this continues to change as the balance data slate hits us. But lots of those things tracking towards the sides of, hey, we should keep an eye on this stuff. Maybe there's an emergency Chaos Data Sheets balance patch down the road that has Thousands Sons of Death Guard in it. But let's not approaching over the hatch. I will also give the shout out. Josh Roberts did win Bristol with John Lennon's Stormraven list for Battle for Salvation with a couple tweaks, scoring 699 out of 700 battle points on his way to victory, which is pretty terrifying.
Stormlance is really good at winning by a lot.
When Stormraven wins just so
So
much better than
much.
everything else does.
Yeah, it scores all the cards and wins all the games. Yay.
Obviously, this was pre-nerf, so it was practice with the full amount of CPU on Gulliman. Josh also crammed a captain in there to get the extra 5, like a Gladius list. Josh was like, I can't less than 25. Can't be doing that.
Not doing
What if I
that.
go second with Gulliman and don't get all of them? He needed the extra 5.
Disgusting.
Um, Giving those things sustained hits with when they advance and shoot, it's quite funny. For free. So yeah, overall, some interesting changes there. It'll be, look, guys, don't mention the Storm Raven. I will cry. Partly because there's 4 in my garage as well. I can go get the pink shoes, but I'm not doing that just now.
You can't get away from them.
I will never. I literally couldn't. It was chasing me down, surviving grenades. What was I? What was a man to do? What can one man do against such reckless hate?
It's not Gladius, chat. Like 4 people just said Gladius. It's fucking Stormlance that did it. Chill.
Jeremy, could you give me the Gladius versus Stormlance stats if you were still here in chat?
Sure they don't favor Stormlance in general. I'm pretty
no,
sure,
I'm sure they don't. Oh, right. What do we want to vamp about today? Where's your heart taking you on today?
Do you ever get
or chat can just shout topics at us and we'll talk about them for like 3 minutes at a time.
Sure. I have an idea
Anthony,
for
start us off. You could be chat to start.
Do you ever get to a part in the WTC cycle where you're just like, for my own sake, I'm just not going to play against that army or those armies again? Like, that's bad. I'm going to leave it as bad. It's not fixable bad. That goes in the nothing box and lives there until I have to go get a 3.
The real thing that I have with that is that, like, a lot of the armies I play just don't have matchups like that because we play very different play patterns with this, right? Like, last year, my Nids army, like, it just kind of scored points, right? Like, even if it was in a bad matchup, it still just did its thing.
Yeah.
And then, the year before that I had the, what are they called? Deathwing Knights, right? So yeah, I nothing boxed the Eldar. I didn't even play a game against that. I was like, the first game I played that was the like top cut game against Quentin, where I was like, I knew it was fucked. I submitted the list knowing it was fucked. I didn't need to play this game to know it was fucked.
That's funny.
I was just like, yeah, dude, I can read my data sheets. Like, I know that the Wraith Knight doesn't mind getting +2 blast against these Deathwing Knights. So I went, yeah, let's move on. And then like everything else was totally fine. But this year, no, I haven't had to. This year, like, I've been playing Cult, and if anybody hadn't noticed, I'm probably playing Cult at WGC. I don't know if anyone, like, the army didn't get nerfed, and I've been playing it a lot.
It's not possible.
Yeah, I might just be. I'm entirely possible. This is a WGC psyop, right? I could be doing that. So
that's true.
Stay on your toes.
Scotland trying to stay in tier 2, bros.
I'm secretly playing Double Harrod and Tunnel Snakes. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
So yeah, and like Cults. Yeah, I mean, you could be like, yeah, I don't want to play against the Storm Raven Stormlance, but if I don't deploy like a Psychopath on an empty table, that's not actually a 0 matchup, right? Like, if we play a human game on a WC board, not GW layout 3, like Genestealer Cults, I'll get points in every game I play, so I don't get to nothing box it, right? It's a tougher place. I might be a pairings princess, but sometimes the Matrix is just like, yeah, but actually the other 3 people that you want to pair for could also do that here. Let's do that instead. So it's tough because I don't get to ignore all my games.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not ignoring it. I just have tested it enough times now, and I'm like, all right, I just, if we have to, I'll gaslight gatekeep girl boss when I get there, but it's not going to be pretty.
It's gaslight gatekeep. It's gaslight shadow keep girl boss for you, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's a little bit of that. There's a little bit of CSM into GSC. Shout out to Mike Porter. A little moving shit around and doing my best.
A little bit like, hey, if you don't know it's a good matchup,
it doesn't have to get crazy, bro. You stay over there. Yeah, you stay over there. I'll stay over here. No one has to die. It's cool.
All right. Okay, we got some general questions for chat. It is, when are you visiting me in London? When are you visiting me in Scotland? I've been to you more recently than you've been to me. You coming up for that team event? You want to tell me so I can actually like book it and stuff? That'd be good.
You guys get your Team Morocco jerseys.
I know, right? Thoughts on the new NIDS detachment? Playtesting shows it's either broken or does nothing. Well, that seems definitive, and it's probably one of those two things.
I agree. It's somewhere on that spectrum for sure. It's somewhere between broken and nothing.
My hot take on that is detachment is that it's definitely just better if you just play the good turn of data sheets and then like sprinkle in your like 400 points of borrower sauce and like your one unit you want to be cute with. Um, it makes the guns go good, and the guns going good is pretty good in turrets.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced it's like turbo broken, but I've heard a few people say that they're like having a lot of success with it. It's played pretty well. It's the kind of thing that I like, right? Where I can have all this mobility on my Maliceptors, and I just like that. So
Yep.
it's the right kind of attachment. I think Anthony said to me when it was spoiled that that's the kind of attachment that you'd love to play, but you don't get to. Um,
Yep.
which tells me that Anthony thinks it's pretty good, but probably not broken.
I mean,
Um,
it's fine. I just don't think that based in the confines of your team that's going to be allowed, you know?
that's totally fair.
You'll have a bunch of fun at it if you decide to go to a different event.
I have a RTT a mini GT this weekend that I'm really tempted, but I don't have
See?
two painted. I don't have two painted Tyrannofexes, so I would probably play four Norns, and I'm just not convinced that that's the kind of thing that the game needs. I will be
Yeah.
ordering. I will be ordering
Woo!
at least one box of the Guilty box that goes up for pre-order this
Yeah.
weekend. Templars, tell me how they're doing this meta. I don't know. Frankly,
Bad.
I've not seen Templars on the table since Olivier played them.
The last time I saw Templars on a table,
Was
someone was
Pumbaa
trying
Challenger for me?
15 Sword Brethren, and I killed them all at the same time, and they were like, that
Oh yes,
seems
Exalted
bad.
8 bounds that don't have an invuln.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, they're also not toughness 6. Every time
They're also
someone
allowed to do damage, so you know.
that's true. Every time someone asks me like, "Oh yeah, what toughness are your blade guard?" I just have to be just like, "No, dude, it's still just 4." Like,
I
I don't know.
ask I ask Space Marine players what the toughness of their Blade Guard are just to make them say it.
It's way funnier for Sanguinary Guard, actually.
Yeah, same exact thing.
What
That one
what
makes
toughness?
me sad also
So
though.
what toughness is Dante? Minus
Yeah.
1 to wound. He's toughness you and me on 3s, right? That's Dante's toughness.
Yeah.
Rock is insane. Running up against the wall of everything having minus 1 to wound is brutal. I really want to like Rock. Wrath of the Rock, the Dark Angel.
I know what it is.
Insane feels like a strong word.
Ambitious. Yeah.
It does certainly feel like downgraded Gladius.
Yeah.
The Lion is gaslighting you into thinking he's playable, guys. I
Come
love my
on.
315-point model dying to grenade plus tank shock because
What
if he's doing anything, he teleported there, and that means he doesn't have a 4-up.
what if he owns, dude? Come on.
What if he owns? What if he owns? If you tell me honestly that you think that Lennon's going to take the Lion to WTC,
I don't think Lennon's gonna take No, I don't.
there you go. That's my
I
bar for Team USA thinking that guy's good. Because if Death Moon Knights are good, Lennon's on them, right? Like he just is. They're Lennon's most performing data sheet of all time, probably. But
he loves that captain. I'll
that
tell you that.
captain
The
fucking
captain
slams.
in that detachment is
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
He's almost like a chaos lord.
He's
Almost.
so much blindingly better than a Chaos Lord. On his best day, a Chaos Lord is not that man on his worst. Like,
Okay, he's not prime test subject. Let's not.
yeah, he's better, I think, most of the time. I don't know. That thing's fucked up. Yeah. No, don't like.
So, Seth asks, "Have we entered the parakeet part of the edition?"
We seem
I,
to
I'm
have.
not. I'm not so much convinced that we entered it as like dive bombed it about 3 months ago.
What did it start with?
EC.
It's hard to say that it started with EC though, right? Like EC were too cheap.
Actually, I feel like it started with Grotmust attachments, right?
No.
Because they printed like Star Shatter, Lions, and those were like the first ones for me.
But they were okay, right?
They were okay, but they were definitely like the top end of okay. And then everything else that comes out feels like it was play tested against like unnerfed Star Shatter.
Nah, because even unnerved, it was Yanari. Yanari was the first one where it was like,
That's
what are we doing?
oh wow, what? Yeah, that's fair. It was like that stretch of like Yanari into EC into Mordaka.
No,
You're just like, what are we? Why? Why at all?
right. Yeah, I think so. That sounds right.
And then the World Eaters were just like, we missed a memo. We'd have been great in Leviathan.
What happened? It's so sad.
World Eaters did been great at WTC last year
Ah,
when
God.
like you were worried about like get 15 Death Ring Knights and Gladius being the scariest thing in the game.
And if they like, had a data slate or two to like give them a little fucking oomph,
Yeah,
But
you were like March last year would have been the best possible time for them.
yeah,
Yeah. If IK lost battling on Armigers, we don't talk about rumors. How are you feeling about 330-ish point big knights? We don't have the confirmed points yet for CK, and I'm clinging to that line for as long as I can because I
what do you
really
mean, bro? List Forge is updated. Just you can see the points.
I
Like,
I know that, and I know that they were in the Greenhammer article basically, and
yeah,
I know that
like they're in a bunch of places. You can just go find them.
Look, all I know is toughness 11 helps me a lot with my benefactresses. So
It makes me as a strength 6 man in my little.
yeah, my seismic cannons doubled in damage.
It's great. I lost +1 to wound along the way, so it's basically the same damage, but I don't have to spend a CP for it anymore. So write that down. Yeah, I think it's a hard.
Like, what do you think of a world that we live in where 6 Exalted 8-bound can charge a Rampager and trade down when they die back?
I mean, I care less about that. It's more about the fact that the Rampager is not even going to get close to dying if they have command points. Like, it's not even gonna. It's gonna be like
-1 damage.
Yeah, you're gonna do 12 damage and be like,
you're like, oh,
fuck.
God, I didn't even bracket it down to OC7.
Yeah. Yeah, right. To have more than me anyway.
And like, if you did get close, they just stick you the objective reactively so that you're not. Like, you charge a 5-wound Chaos Knight, and you're like, at least I'm gonna kill it because it can't manage some damage. You like sticky this at the start of the fight phase.
You'll auto see the 6 with a 6-man of Exalted. It's everything else in your army that won't.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't explode and take one out with it, and then you're 5-5.
Yeah. Look, I think that
doesn't have an all explode. It's a 4-up explode, right?
I think so. I think this is like just an awful mistake. Like, they've made a terrible error, and I don't think there's anything to do about it. Now, I think if these are the points, fucking is what it is. I do think that if you're someone that's planning to go to WTC, better have a fucking answer, because this is one of those. This is like the Horde meta gambit, right, Ennis? This is the like, oh, no one else will take it, it's gonna be fine. And then if anyone takes it and you bet that they didn't, you're fucked.
I'm gonna be honest, I've seen a lot of teams take like host to one off tournament and then not to the next one. And I'm like, I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine. And then all the hordes got nerfed this time. Death Courts of Kree got nerfed. I'm just like fucking ducking and playing like, oh, this is gonna be great. It's gonna be great. This is my year.
Yep.
I'm just like, we're not a Chaos Knight team. We're not a Chaos Knight team. We're not a Chaos Knight team. We're not a Chaos Knight team.
Even if you're not a Chaos Knight team, if your team has not good answers to 6 of these fucking things,
100%.
It's going to be a bad day in the office when you play against the Swedes.
3 Tyrannofexes.
Yeah. Yeah.
-1 damage this bitch.
Yeah.
Silent King, Triple Doomsday Arc, ignore mods. Let's go.
And look, maybe the Swedes have had their brains rewired and they will no longer be a double Knights team. But I don't want to take that bet.
I don't think that seems likely.
Yeah, I don't want to take that bet. I don't want to be wrong.
It's if you think about it, right? It's cold in Sweden. So if they play 6 nights, they have a lot more time to like go to and stand by the fire in between games. So I think they're very incentivized to playing these kinds of armies.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
All right. Just how many Sword of Shields can Space Wolves have on a 2K list? I've seen
fucking billion. They get so many.
So many. Like I put a list on the table. It was like 30 Wolfen, 18 Head Takers, 18 Thunderwolves, and it was like also still had stuff behind it. I was like, it doesn't do anything damage wise, really, relative to relative to how much it costs. The damage is not that great, but it does keep doing it for the entire game.
I will say, watching people be like, dude, Space Wolves do so much damage. Like, they're not the thing in your comp that would replace an Ultramarine list. Is like, all right, fucking settle down.
It's like dude, it's strength 5 lethal hits or like strength 5 advanced and charge.
Yeah, fucking relax.
There are things it's scary for, but like, let's not pretend that it's going to murder us all.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's still very move blockable as well. The fact that army doesn't blood surge anymore makes me, or like with the Thunderwolves, makes me very excited. Ben Jurek sends a $2 super chat. What are 5 changes you'd make or add to the slate?
5? Brother, 5? I don't work for Games Workshop.
Okay. To ballpark it, for me, I'll do Death Guard Thousand Suns nerfs as 1 and 2.
Yep.
Like, just take like 200 points off both the armies.
Yeah, I think you could just like flat 10% nerf both of them and just call it a day.
Yeah, probably.
It's sad because like I don't actually think Death Guard's like not wild, but it does have the great sin of destroying regular events right now. So you kind of gotta like calm
It does
that.
just have too much stuff, right?
Yeah,
Like,
but
just
like
flatly.
maybe like chill out a little bit. But like it needs to be like they're not gonna get that. I don't think. I think Death Guard's gonna get just like blasted into the ground for the sin
Death
of
Guard's gonna get like the patented triple nerf.
yeah for the the grievous sin of going 3 into a lot. But yeah, T-Suns need I don't know, dude. In my opinion, T-Suns need like a whoops, fucked it up, try again, but we're not gonna get that.
They get to try one of their spells a turn, not all 4. Or something.
They could try each
Goats
one once.
Goats can't be led.
They could do each spell once.
Goats can't be led, and Mutilate Vortex Beasts are epic heroes.
Yeah. Also, they need to like Lord Discordant the Exalted 8-bound data sheet. Because, like, if we're honest with each
It really
other,
needs
right?
to like hit on 2s and
Look,
have an invulnerable save of 4
listen.
and come down 10 points a model.
Exalted are never, because the game we play is at its core narratively based, right? We don't want to believe that, but we know it to be true. So, they're never going to be cheaper than regular 8-bound. Just
true.
not going to happen.
It's very true.
So please, Games Workshop, if you listen to us at all, just rewrite them. I get it. We tried. Fucking oops. Try again.
Why do they hit on 3s, dude?
They
Why
hit,
do they hit on 3s?
they hit on, you can make them hit on 2s. You can make them damage 3. There's a whole bunch of ways to make them pretty good.
Give them hit on 2s. Give them a data sheet rule.
That'd be pretty sick, yeah. Just anything.
What's your data sheet rule? If I don't kill the thing, wait, hold on. Why are you, as a world, that you're not killing the thing? Let's start there.
Yeah, it's bad. So, like,
+1 damage against vehicles and monsters on the data sheet. Just give them that, and then +1 a hit. Make them hit on 2s.
yeah, yep.
They can still be a glass cannon, dude. They can still like get tactically erased by 5 acolytes. Like,
Look, 8-bound are too expensive. Accordingly, Exalted also need to come down. But in a world where they're never going to be cheaper, they need to be very different.
How insane are the Sandguard buffs that I even feel bad for taking them so cheap? Look,
I agree they were nonsensical.
I have watched unled Sanguinary Guard bounce off of things that I didn't think were possible for them to bounce off of.
That's true, though.
The number of times I've watched like an unled Sanguinary Guard squad, it's going to be like 3s and 2s, 3 wounds. Oh no,
dude! I've seen unled Sangard bounce off of like JPIs, which should like never happen. Should never happen. But like,
yeah, it's just like, yeah, dude, you're just on the 3s and 2s train.
Yeah, I will say, pretty fucked up in Angelic Inheritors.
Oh, they're incredibly fucked up, literally everywhere. They're 20 points more than JPIs for just insanely better stats everywhere.
Speaking of, if you want to do a comparison that'll make you real sad if you play World Eaters, Exalted 8-bound Sanguinary Card. Oh boy, it's rough out there.
Yeah, they're in lag. You get what? 2 more strength. You lose 3 inches of movement and fly, and a 2-up 4 save 4 invulnerable save and -1 to hit in combat. It's a lot. It's a lot to lose, and the gun also and the OC2.
50 points cheaper. 5-0.
You can almost buy a Slaughterbound to lead them for the same price.
Correct.
Like you could put a Slaughterbound to lead it. If you, I don't want to do this discussion anymore. Blood Angels are very cool, very powerful. I think Blood Angels have that same thing Anthony was talking about though, where how many WC teams are just gonna take them, and how many of you are like, all right, let's bring the thing that beats Blood Angels.
Yeah.
And like, there's a level in there that's like, Blood Angels are really fucking good. So are Ultramarines.
That's what happened last year, right? The Blood Angels were really strong.
9 out of 10 pool 1 teams took Dark Angels, or Space Wolves, or Black Templars, and the winning team, the top 2 were Poland came 3rd last year.
3rd, yep. Spain.
Yeah, 2 of the top 3 were not Blood Angels or Dark Angels. So
3. It was Spain who took DA.
Oh, Spain had Dark Angels, right?
Yep.
And they came second.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
Dark
because
Angels
fucking
finished second.
Serrano wasn't
Yeah,
playing fucking BA for
yeah. I said
whatever reason.
two of the three weren't Dark Angels or Blood Angels, right? Because those were the two that were like the obvious one last year.
Yep.
So maybe there's a world out there for innovation. Maybe it is going to be wolves. Maybe it's going to be, maybe Olivier is cooking 100 blood claws in his basement.
Literally, just like
He's just painting the eyes. He'll be in there for months. He'll come out with a fur tail.
yeah.
Um.
Space beavers, dude.
Okay. Questions. When do we have 10th edition Psychic Awakening? I feel like that was Grotmus.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm not gonna lie. I would kind of be. I'm like ready for this to be done. I'm ready to be out on 10th. Like
Anthony has realized that the edition creep is a good thing because it resets the power balance. For
I've had enough of whatever the fuck this is. I would like it to be over and to move on. Yeah. I mean, I said it forever ago, like months ago, when they were like, like World Easter or whatever. I was like, fuck, because I knew they were gonna get rid of my index, and I was like, shit, no. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine.
Have we discussed CSM post slate? Only just catching up now. They seem really cool and really interesting.
There's a bunch of like good build diversity there. I think Bile took a giant bullet in the forehead when like DGT Sons and Eaters came out. That was sad. Being really like the cool like damage 3 melee skew build just like immediately died.
Try to kill Winged Demon Princess with Possessed, one of the most miserable experiences I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, that shit sucks.
You're all a bunch of dev wounds are like 4 up.
Yep.
They actually wound you on 3s. God, watching an Emperor's Children demons actually get to do damage into something that costs points is awful. It's like a war crime. You just can't look away though.
Well, thankfully, Possessed don't cost that many points, so it's not
That's
a big
true.
deal.
But neither did Winged Princes, so it was still trading up.
He wasn't gonna kill all 10. Come on.
it would kill like 6, right?
No,
because like
you're gonna pass a save.
Yeah, it goes like 6 on, like 2 on the charge, and then 4 in combat with 6.
Assumedly you were charging them.
Oh no, they're so much faster than you though, right? They came from 25 inches away.
I don't want to talk about.
Maybe you fight on death. Yeah. I think the Lord Discordant data sheet is genuinely really cool, really interesting, and mounted is actually kind of a benefit in Renegade Raiders compared to vehicle, so it like strongly appreciates that.
Yeah.
Watching it not like get erased by Scourges is quite nice. Not that that's a matchup that Anthony's going to ever respect or care about, but how do we feel about the Rear of Chaos in retrospective? Wow, all the Chaos books except World Eaters are really good, and World Eaters is at least interesting, not in a way that Anthony likes, but in a way I like.
I don't even think CSM's that good. They can just ally Noise Marines, dude.
That's probably true as well.
Like. You just wouldn't bother if you couldn't. I don't know. Whatever. Fucking, it's fine.
Max Wolf donates $10 super chat and says, Ernest, oh wise and glorious Primus, would you be so kind as to create a Brood Brother Auxilia list for this humble neophyte? I grow weak under the strain of carrying my host list of games. I'm really sorry if you think that you're going to have less models in a Brood Brothers list, because you're going to start off with 3 bricks of Deathcore and Krieg and 3 squads of Kazakin and like 2 Tauroxes and some Hellhounds, and then you're going to put in like Gene Stealers and some bikes because they don't really need the buffs, and then Laser Ridge Runners because they benefit from the guard buffs. I'm really sorry, it's not that interesting. You just play a Gene Stealer cult list, except instead of playing Neophyte bricks, you play Deathcore bricks and Kazarkin. It's not that interesting. It's totally fine, but it is the same number of models as host, and you should just play host. Yeah. I'm really sorry. Do we need to mention heavy blight launchers? No, they're in my nightmares and my list history. Brian's being mean about Gene Stealer cults.
I mean, cults could probably go up 10%. I think that'd be fine.
I hate you.
Would you stop playing it if it went up 10%?
I'd just be mad.
Okay.
I actually probably at another 200 points on the list. Yeah, I probably would just like. It's not that good that I would be like, yeah, I can sustain 200 points.
Sure.
Like I would lose so much stuff, and I'm already like trying not to get rushed real hard.
What if it was like 200 points, but not on all of it? Like, what if it wasn't 200 points? What if it was like 10%, but like only on Neos?
Then I'd probably, if Neos were like 160, you're starting to get to the point where I'm like one brick not playing host, or yeah, like I think I would kill like the host horde build, which might be a benefit in some people's eyes, right? Fix Falls places high on my list, as well as fix Ultra Obeisance Phalanx attach rule to be at least as strong as Ultimate. No, I like the fact that Obeisance Phalanx's rule is the benefit that Ulf has. Like it's just you get the +1 to wound, and that's it.
Yeah.
Um, Brian wants to change every model to Deadly Demise D3 since it has a demon inside it in World Eaters.
That's a
Raw
good
buff.
change.
World Eaters units are always down in your opponent's deployment zone.
Yeah.
Um, Next, Floof says, "Will you sign my position to unbox like Leos? Thank you for the $2. If you will let me have Neos with 4 seismic cannons and 4 grenade launchers again, I'll kill God. Like it won't even be close. She'll just get one tapped.
Sure.
You should under no circumstances allow me to have this power ever again. It's for the best.
No.
Plus, I just built all these Webbers, man. You can't take them off me. Do you think the changes to tower are enough? I will very quickly shout out. We just did did a bonus episode with Kyle Grundy for the Mind Goblin series. If you want to hear even more of our thoughts on the new tower changes, you can go check out youtube.com/statcheck and check out the video section. You can see the video there. It was a great episode. Thank you to Kyle for coming on. It went up today, like 7 hours ago, so pretty fresh. If you want to, have a comment, Kyle will be watching them for a little bit. If you want to have a chat with him about that. Do we think the changes to the tower are enough? Kyle seems to think they're pretty good. I think they put them into that like really solid mid-tier position, but I don't think they're like busted.
I know more about advanced math than I do Tau, so
That's fair. The ability to split fire is the biggest thing that they gained out of that, and it makes them a lot more able to play a game with people that isn't just, and then the one thing died and the other thing didn't, and I don't have a thing to deal with the other thing, and now I explode. Right?
yeah.
You don't have to just like massively overkill things. You can actually be a bit more precise with your damage, and I think that's fine. Serrano says, "Let's make a deal. Sangard are 150, but Rhinos can have Primaris in them." I'll take that deal every day. As a definitely not Blood Angels player, I'm definitely on the side of that seems fine to me. Anthony's making weird eyes at things.
I don't know. I don't like it. He's
What
too
points cost does Sangard
enthusiastic.
need to be so we can finally take him?
Fucking 325. I don't know, man.
There you go. It's the episode of gaslighting, and this was just how to navigate a GC nerf discussion.
That was masterful.
Hey, look, I'm just saying that I bought a box of loom bands. I got all these charms in them because I got them to like work. So I'm just like playing with my little charms. It's making me so
Nice.
happy. I stand by the fact that for loom bands, the 2 biggest markets in the world are 12-year-old girls and wargamers, and it's not really a demographic that should overlap a ton.
Yeah.
But these do make me happy in a way that I struggle to explain.
Okay.
Um,
Just little guys, dude.
Are you ready to admit the tower nerf not buffed? I'm not ready to admit anything, but I will admit that the Tiger Shark was nerfed, and that's unjust, and it should be rebuffed to get it. The Tiger Shark specifically should get Kalyo and sustained hits too.
Do not do this to us again. That like 2-week window last year where we thought they were going to be functional at WTC
And we had to like,
coincided with when our practice weekend was. It was fucking awful.
and you're like carving them, you're like cutting them out of pizza boxes and stuff. Yeah, it was
Dude,
great.
yeah, somewhere Ganyo in his house has a cardboard cutout of a tiger shark.
We played this like 2 games with it when we had like the like rough rumor of how the tower rule was going to change, and it was like, oh, that thing just tabled me because it was getting sustained 2.
Yeah.
Doesn't get sustained 2. Doesn't do that. It's okay. It's okay. We're safe. It's okay. But
Okay.
holy shit, was it frustrating as fuck.
Yeah.
When should the DE Codex come out? 11th. I think it
11.
just shouldn't get one.
Just
Yeah.
fuck it. Yeah.
Do you think the Psychophage might be nerfed considering the lack of turret defense and involves?
No.
I don't even think the Psychophage is that good. Is that? I
Psychophage
feel
is
like that's
quite good.
controversial. Huh?
The Psychophage is quite good.
It's fine, but I'm not. It's not like revelationary or anything.
+1 AP is pretty good.
It's only in melee, and like I get that, but I don't want to be I don't want to be charging people with nids, man. I want to be punching them.
So
wanna be
many of the NIDS sheets are good in melee with reroll ones.
To hit. Yeah, like it's fine. I just
Half of them are
twin
twin linked. What are we talking about
It doesn't
right
excite
now?
me. It doesn't excite me that much. I don't like it very much. I think it's a fine one-off. I struggle to want more than that. Innes says, "Look shiny." Yes, it's true. There's also a love heart, and I dropped one on the floor, and there's a 4th one somewhere. I don't know. I'm probably gonna like super glue them to the bottom of my rhinos or something.
Nice.
All right, that is the end of the chats from there. So what we're going to do very quickly, we're going to do the plugs, and then we'll go into doing the show questions. So if you're enjoying the show, we are just over an hour in. You can do all the usuals. Please do the like, the comment, the subscribe. If you're listening to it on this podcast app, you can leave a review. It does really help us out with discoverability and getting to bring you guys more of the content you enjoy, as well as directing that content into the things that you guys are interested in hearing. Especially if you've got any thoughts on any of the bonus content that we've been putting out, anything you'd like to see direction wise on there. That's the kind of stuff where your voice can have a lot of impact right now as I'm developing and growing that space. So please do make sure that you are giving us the most help you can there, because the things that come out will be the things that people want to hear from, the things that do well. If you'd like to support the show even more, you can check out patreon.com/statcheck, or you can check out the YouTube memberships link in the description below. $5 a month gets you access to our Patreon Discord. It gets you access to a 15% discount code for the Red Dragon, who are our title sponsor, as well as the ability to interact with us, play in the Vibe Check League, and all those sorts of things. I think the Vibe Check League is just about to finish up for the most recent teams one. We'll be doing a singles one just after this, probably starting sometime in the next month or two. So yeah, please do check out the Discord for all of that. If you'd like to support any of the other shows on the network, you can find them at youtube.com/statcheck. That's End of the Matrix, X and One, Take Comers, and Champions of 40K. All of them have a bunch of back episodes, and Take Comers is still actively releasing. You can also find the most recent stat rep, which was Outlander Claw versus World Eaters, which Tyler just uploaded yesterday. So yeah, do keep an eye out for that. It's some great content coming out of those guys. At some point, I'm gonna bully Tyler and be like, Tyler, like, why have you never asked me to do one? We're both in the same time zone, man. Come on, what are we doing? But Tyler, I don't think Tyler watches the show that much. So as long as I can cyberbully him on the internet, it's fine. If you'd like to check out any of our sponsors, all of them in the description below. That is Saltar Games, J15 Games, Will and Yutani, and our title sponsor, the Red Dragon. You can find all the links in the description, as well as discount codes for all of them. If you're looking for terrain, models, war gear, widgets, magic cards, someone in the description will do it for you. And we can only thank all of them for their continued support. Lastly, if you'd like to work with any of our coaches, that's myself, Liam, VSL, The Scene for Shane, Nicholas Olsen Johnson, Tyler Bortel, Lucas Troller, or Pumbaa, you can check out YouTube, stat-check.com/coaching, or drop us an email at coaching@stat-check.com. It's very busy right now with the balance date slate, with a lot of stuff upcoming. So if you would like to get some help with working on any of that direction, please do check that out. We'd be more than happy to point you in the right direction. Otherwise, we're going to move on to the show questions, which, as always, there are two ways to get your show question answered on the show. One is to leave a super chat, as the eponymous Floof, Max, and Ben did earlier in the show. You can ask a really good question in the chat, which is what we were just doing for the last 40 minutes, or you can ask a question in the Discord, where we will definitely make sure we answer it. And that's the only way to guarantee, besides sending us money during the live show. But if you can't do it live, Patreon's the best way to do it. Anthony, you're going to take point on most of these because I just did a bunch of talking, and I want to make you do something.
I mean, make me answer questions, brother. Sling it.
That's how this usually goes. I need to go back over to the thing and then copy and paste. Oh god, this is such a lot of work. Why isn't Nathan here? Okay. Is there any go for it? Is there any play with the character rats in the simulation swarm and the fight first enhancement? I'm assuming that means character ravs.
Oh, maybe there's a fight first enhancement in that attachment. That's crazy.
There is. There's also a +1 strength enhancement, and I think the fight first one also gives you +1 attack. And there's a double heal enhancement. It's actually got like some pretty cracked enhancements. Just nothing else for Ravagers.
Yeah, I don't think it's that interesting. It seems fine.
Thoughts on the new ninja attachment? Is it in contention for WTC8? You'll find out at WTC, unfortunately.
It seems like it would be if you had a very talented Nin pilot already. The meta's pretty flat right now, besides the stupid shit. So like,
it feels like there is Death Guard and Thousand Suns at the top, and then a whole bunch of armies that are pretty viable.
Yeah, I feel like there's like 3 or 4 armies that you like probably should have, and then there's like 12.
Yeah, if you don't have Marines, you're probably doing something wrong as well, right?
Yeah, that feels like an error.
Okay. With the preview of CK, which armies do you like the most as which armies do you think will like them most as allies?
Death Guard? Oh, you got it. They got there already. It's a spoiler with Death Guard. That shit seems pretty cool.
You know, the Defiler already strips cover, though.
The Despoiler doesn't.
Oh, the Despoiler doesn't. The Despoiler wants its cover stripped for it. Got it.
Yeah.
Oh,
you could take a Defiler, but not since the base changes. That's fucking trolling.
Yeah, that is 100% true.
Yeah.
The idea of a Lancer in Mortarian's Hammer seems kind of hilarious to me.
To do what?
Just jam at them. Just be like, here, deal chew on this while I play for Scroller you. All right. Seth asks, can we admit Death Guard are a problem yet, or do we need more data? Oh, sorry. The previous questions were Kels and Lucas E. And Seth asks this.
I think
it
it seems pretty clear that Death Guard are a bit of a problem. I mean, I don't think we need more data. I think they could have been nerfed last data slate, but I also feel the same way
I
about
probably
Thousand
agree.
Suns.
I would be very open to them getting an emergency data slate sometime in the next week.
Yeah.
James Van Langet sends a $5 New Zealand donation. Did you grab any of the Final Fantasy Commanders? I did not because, quite frankly, they were really expensive, and I am saving for WTC right now, and I am not spending a ton of money on Magic at the moment.
I don't play Magic.
Anthony doesn't play Magic. Okay, Bobby asked 2 questions. What are your overall thoughts on Challenger cards? We discussed that earlier in the show. With the recent slate changes, when running any flavor of Ultramarines, do you take Bobby G or Calgar, and why? I think they're both still insanely good, and I would strongly recommend starting with both and then seeing if you feel like you can get away with it. None of the other melee tools in core Space Marines feel like they do nearly as much as these guys do. I have seen some people playing like Tiggy and Blade Guard, and like it's decently durable, but the damage up just isn't there. And these guys actually slam in combat, and sometimes you just kind of need that.
Yep, I agree.
Also, the fact that you can actually like justifiably start Calgar off the board now does open up Rapid Ingressing him, which is quite funny in some matchups.
Don't like that. Don't like that at all.
Or starting him in a Storm Raven.
Yep. Fucking hate that too.
And then Final Fantasy Commander. I have got like a card trader thing sitting with like the order that I'm going to make when I get back from WTC. I'm probably going to order a couple of the new cards like quickly just so I can build a couple of decks, but I'm not spending more than like £30 on it, so it won't be a ton. Anthony asks Goran, have you found a World Eaters list that you personally like and will bring to a tournament? Again, you will probably find out when WTC hits because it is that time of year.
I mean, this is a pretty easy answer. If I was gonna play singles right now, I'd probably be looking at playing Demonkin just to have an angle to outplay armies that are disfavored, right? Like,
sure,
it gives you a little bit more wiggle room.
You've actually got some flexibility to play the game because you can't just rely on raw stats to beat their face over with Berserker Warband.
Yeah, and also just like people make mistakes when they play tournament games that you don't, hand back to them the same way that you do in a practice game. So,
sure,
Demonkin are pretty good in those environments.
Okay. Pierce says, I'm looking to get back to the game after a long break. I have both a GSC and a Harlequins conversion. Unfortunately, both are somewhat complicated only kind of still exist. I'm guessing that's Harlequins.
Yeah.
How would you recommend I proceed? Go and give like Biosanctic or Final Day a try. Just play like 2 squads of Gargoyles and a Lictor in your Tyranid side, and Biosanctic and like Final Day is pretty playable. It's not that complicated, and Biosanctic it's fine if you're not playing on like the bad GW boards.
I think Biosanctic is even decent, downright okay.
Yeah, Biosanctic is just fine. It is too expensive, flatly, but it is perfectly playable. It is a perfectly reasonable like 2 and 3 army, and that is fine.
No.
CK 6 big ones or 14 war dogs. I've not seen enough of CK on the table to really have a strong feeling, but I feel like 6 big ones is better than 14 war dogs if I had to pick between the two.
No.
Thank you to Michael Nowak for the question. Any thoughts, Anthony?
I go back and forth on this. So like it's annoying, right? Because like I was literally just saying this earlier in a Discord that like I fucking hate when armies like exist like this before WTC because of the thing that I was kind of saying earlier in the show that like you have 2 options, right? You plan to counter
and hope enough teams bring it that it's worth it.
Yeah. Or you don't, and boy, are you fucking pissed if you're wrong.
And then also, or you bring it and hope the opposite.
Right.
Like, and what is the worst case scenario has to be you bring it, don't plan for no one else to, and then you're right, but everyone planned for it.
Yeah.
And you're like, not only does ours do nothing, we
planned
that they would have. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a tough spot to be in.
There's
a lot of game theory there.
And the answers to both of these are fairly different. Not super different, but different enough that you like, got to pay attention, right? So yeah, I don't love this. Like, I think that the better one, just by like for what, right? The better one for trying to like skew your way into winning a singles tournament is probably just the bigs, right? Because you would,
She's like, oh, dude, I put against 5 people that couldn't play bigs, and I won a GT. Yep, like
get rocked, nerd.
That can happen now, right?
Right, yeah. So, well, no, it can't happen now because they're not cheap enough for that. But,
That's also true.
yeah, I think that shit works. I think that's probably what I would go for.
James also asks for $5,000. Thank you very much. Do you think aggressors have some viability? If you want to play Imperial Fist instead of pretending towards Calgar? I don't think aggressors are very good. Fire discipline going away makes them real sad. They are kind of okay in Anvil Siege Force if you like have to play them. If
Give
you're like gun to head, you must find detachment where they are viable. It's Anvil, and you won't be happy about it, but it is Anvil.
give Tora a couple homies and say that he's Calgar.
That is probably a better bet. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, James, for the $5 New Zealand. Aaron asks, Inez, what is your favorite bribe? I need to know what to buy in case I get paired against you this weekend. I am a big fan of Butterfingers, Orange Lucozade. Honestly, like a Greg sausage roll, I wouldn't go amiss. Also, a huge fan of 2,000 Great British Pounds. All these things. No, if we're just listing things, right?
Yeah.
See you at the weekend, Aaron. I don't even need to say what I'm playing yet. So, Isaac asks 3 questions. They are all the same question because he carbon copied them. To Magnus or not to Magnus? That is the question in Coven. I like Magnus, and if I'm playing Thousand Suns, I'm playing it to play Magnus.
It depends a lot on your terrain state.
Sure. Don't play him on UKTC.
Yeah.
You cannot hide him. It sucks. It's awful.
Yeah,
Don't
that
do
sounds
it.
real.
It's not worth it.
Maybe you can now on the new boards. Woo,
They're not changing any of
spooky.
the terrain though, so it's still stapled to the 9x9.
Maybe not then.
Isaac says, so apparently I'm going to WTC now. What should I know before I go? Any tips on how to prepare for such a big event?
Oh, my soft, sweet summer child. I would say that it depends a lot on what your
Your comment
team's.
has also been rejected for spam, and I can't put it in the chat despite being the person that owns the chat, which is strange.
Yeah, get wrecked. I would say for your first one, listen to what your captain is trying to get you to do. If you are being given direction, just follow it and enjoy the ride. Just enjoy
Everything
going.
you think you know about going to WTC is wrong.
Yeah,
just roll with it.
Yeah,
Oh, I never
I
changed
was
my fucking thing. Oh, I'm upset now.
absolutely convinced I was going to go once and never again. And then after I went, it completely changed how I interact with 40K. It's awesome that you're going to get to go. That's sick. I'll see you there. But just like take it for what it is. Be happy that you're there. Particularly if you're playing for a team that's like a little newer to the event and maybe not super well organized. Like,
Thailand.
just be there for the ride. Be there to, balance your expectations for what you expect the event to look
Expect
like.
to play 7 of the hardest and most interesting and most enjoyable games of your life.
Yep.
Expect to get your shit rocked in ways you didn't think was possible, and also to rock someone's shit in ways you didn't think was possible because the pairing went your way.
Yep.
Expect to be dog tired within 2 days,
Yeah.
bone tired by day 3, and drunk out your mind by day 4.
Yeah, the event
and
is a
do
trip.
your best to like meet everyone that you think you want to meet. They're all there. You'll be able to find them.
Hydrate
like shit. Yeah. Don't just drink booze because it's there and cheaper than water.
It also probably won't be cheaper. People just say that to make themselves feel better.
But people drink the beer anyway.
Yeah.
It's in the Alps, so it's lovely. Spend some time outside.
Yep.
Breathe some fresh air. Don't stay up too late. It's really easy because it's just like
Or fuck it. That part's fine.
like sure, but it's just like your 400 favorite nerds all in the same. We're all gonna be in the same living campus for a lot of us. It's like don't destroy yourself. You have to be able to like go to the next day. Ideally,
once the events go early. Actually, would be my advice.
Yeah, go like Monday to Monday is my recommendation. Like play the singles or don't. I recommend it if it's your first time, especially if you're not there on a team that's like trying to win the event. Go play the singles, get to meet a bunch of more people, get like that easy in with hanging out with people as well, besides that or outside your team. And then stay the Sunday night because the Sunday night is the reason to go to WDC.
Yeah.
Especially if it's someone's wedding. Best unit in Subterranean Nids, and why is it the Harridan? It's not the Harridan. It's probably still the Biovore. I'm really sorry.
The one hero, dude.
It's
the home field
your strongest unit is the Biovore. Your second strongest unit is that first unit of Gargoyles.
Yeah. Yeah,
and that's not changed, and it never will change.
true.
So what's the point of GW giving separate points to Imperial agents if they refuse to do anything? The points are rules if you're playing as a standalone army. Um,
It's fine. They're
it's
not a real
okay that
army.
Imperial agents aren't meant to be a real army. It's kind of shitty that they didn't.
That they did
Um,
that.
it's kind of shitty that they don't tell you that, but
Yeah.
it's not a real army. It's not meant to be a real army. It's Imperial weirdos. It's the $60 tax you pay to use a Caldas assassin. And you're just gonna have to live with that, right?
Yeah, it sucks. That was I do think that like in general that was like kind of a shitty.
It was a weird army to bring out before all the other armies. Like it's a great 17th codex or like
Right.
26th codex to come out like 3 months before the edition. It's a really terrible first army.
Yeah, they did a bad job with that one.
They did not do great. Like I think it's kind of cool. Why doesn't it have an army rule? Can I complain about that fact?
No, just
I'm
they
going
should have
to
released
anyway.
it after Drukari got a book, right? Like what the fuck?
That's true. With the Tyranid detachment, sorry, this is from Mark Tutu. With the Tyranid detachment having up and down and 16 deep strikes, you think the rising 12-inch units can't be everywhere, man?
Let's just get this out of the way. I've seen this asked like several times, right? Not necessarily just here. Who else has 12-inch deep strike now besides infiltrators? It's such an uncommon rule that people are like,
So,
dude,
like,
people are just going to take 12-inch deep
yeah,
strike now. That's going to be it. You're going to be
gonna play
fucked.
the Mystic from Imperial Agents, the solo lone up character. The GSC have the Clamovus. She's okay. She's still a single model, and she doesn't give it to her unit.
Yep.
There's the enhancement in Synaptic Nexus. I think Synaptic Nexus. I didn't take it last year.
But like no one uses this shit.
No one uses any of this shit. It's
Yeah.
just infiltrators, right? CK Tyrants. There you go. The data sheet that we all need.
Sick.
Fuck me, what a
Yeah.
dog shit unit. Yeah, like I don't think anybody's doing this stuff. Like it's just Space Marines.
Yeah.
And like maybe I have like 70 points of flex on my GSC list. Maybe I'll bring one so my home objective is safe against like the first 2 turns of hammer before they die to indirect.
Yeah.
Like the recon guard stratagem, bro. The recon guard stratagem. Don't Deceptors have that?
Yes.
Hey, how good's a Deceptor's Disco Lord?
Better than most things in World Eaters. Next question.
Oh, Techno Archaeologists, Sisters have it in Champions of Faith. Christ, what a fucking no, dude. You just if you don't have stuff to tackle the problem, you just have to run more screens or be okay with your front stuff getting charged.
Sometimes you die, man. It's all right.
That's not a question. Sorry, John B. But Anthony, a Hellbrute did pinball through Kaganel Stern, Vol, and a Castigator onto his home objective.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Against all those, like, there is a world where there are some armies that, like, in Search and Destroy just physically can't stand far enough apart that the Hellbrute doesn't go through them if you go first and hit a big charge and deploy like a psychopath. But that's not a game plan. That's a thing that could happen and makes a really funny story. But you could definitely do that. Like if I went first against Sisters in Search and Destroy, they just had like 35 units. I'd definitely just like put one on the line and be like, if I go first, you're so fucked. Just going with a power scourge, just like whee!
Yeah, kill 6 sisters and be like, boom, gotcha.
And then Blake C says, it seems like 10th is a lot of take 3 of the best thing. Do you see this as a problem? And would scaling points be a feasible way to fix this?
I mean, it would help if we had options, you know?
Some armies, yeah, just don't have units to choose between, right? Like, as much as I think Emperor's Children deserved the changes to Noise Marines and Winged Demon Princes, like, what's the fallback unit? Flawless Blades? That's their third non-infantry. Their third non-battle line unit is Flawless Blades
Awful.
and Mauler Fiends. And, like, Mauler Fiends are fine. They're extremely okay. They are a competitively viable data sheet. Flawless Blades are flatly not. So,
yep.
Where do
Just
you
bad.
like? All right, man. The second, you pay a 10% premium on the second one you take, and a 30% premium on the second one you take. Okay? So I'm just gonna take 3 expensive squads of Noise Marines.
Thanks.
Right? Yeah. Like, I don't think that does a lot to fix it. All right, guys. That is gonna be the last of our questions. I'm gonna go and read the bit that makes my head hurt, which is our what is it even called? The Church of the High Five. So this for $15 a month, you can get your name shouted out at the end of the show. That is a tier on the Patreon and YouTube. It is pinned, and it makes my head like I feel like I'm gonna get a nosebleed every time I do this, but and it makes me upset when Nathan's not here. But thank you so much, everyone, for being part of the show. I'm going to do this bit now, and then Anthony will not say bye-bye because he doesn't do that. Anthony's got too much self-respect to copy Nathan. So thank you for Christopher, lots of words. And yes, I'm counting the meows, Nathan. There are 14 of them. Irvine. Thank you to Willow Weeks. Thank you to Dan F. Thank you to Luke Dan F. McCarthy. Thank you to David. GWB cranking out codexes this year like it's the end of edition or something. Clark. Thank you to IEAIOIER. Send me a message, man. We haven't spoken in ages. Hope you're doing well. Thank you to James H. Thank you to Colton Dan F. Miller. Thank you to Fungus. Thank you to John V8 Gang. Help. Thank you to Cam F. Dan Morton Hog Emoji Hog Emoji. Thank you, Archon. Now sourcing 25-meter bases for his Urgles, Lamians, and Medusae Rahal. Hell yeah. I want to see that. Thank you to Josiah Gattle. Thank you to Tank Commander Frankie. Thank you to Isaac. I'm a real WTC player now. Just let me know. We don't 40k. Tarada. No, it means you're constantly losing 11 and a half months of the year. Thank you to Can I Doombolt Necron players. Thank you to Thomas. List submissions will be penalized if they don't include a soundtrack for Cohesion. Thank you to Stephen. Race didn't need to get nerfed. GW. C. Call the Horde. Ross. Thank you to Tom. Chicago style is not pizza. H. Thank you to. I look forward to playing against everyone who just made fun of everyone who made fun of me for having enough nights for both factions while I run 6 big ones. Otherwise, of course, I'll still lose, but it's the principle of the thing that matters. Thank you to blindly investing in 4-year-old nights before the sheet changes. Don't do that. Don't. You'll just hurt yourself. Thank you to Raid Shadow Legends. I'm not reading out your code just in case.
That one is the winner. Whoever that was, DM me. We'll find you a way to get you something for that. That was fucking awesome. Good job.
Raid Shadow Legends, where you sign today using code something, you can get 500 extra gems and 10 rare pulls. I'm not reading that just in case it is a real code. I'm not giving anyone freak out on the show. And thank you
hilarious.
to Gucci. Thank you to Gucci question mark. Oh, Christ. We do charge more than $15 a month to promote on the show, just in case anybody knows it wants to. Thank you to James Van Lange for signing up as a Patreon member, as a YouTube member on the show live. It is greatly appreciated, all of you for being here. If you're at tournament this weekend, please do have the best of luck. If you're for some reason at the Salt RGT in Scotland this weekend in Dundee, tickets are still available if you're in Scotland and you want a ticket. I'm just saying. Come say hi. Otherwise, very best of luck. Kick some ass. May all of you dodge Thousand Suns in pairings. Anthony, any closing words?
Fuck Thousand Suns.